Famous, fragrant, and occasionally foul. All things that came to mind when describing the cheeses we just encountered in France. But what makes Munster and Reblochon so interesting? They're illegal to import from France to the United States, and therefore our only opportunity to eat them is by traveling to the continent. Watch as our family discovers the best and stinkiest of Europe's fine cheeses across France, Italy, and Switzerland. Subscribe and sit back for another globe-trotting foodie adventure. Here we go. Welcome to Alsace, France, uniquely positioned along the German border and home to the remarkably smelly cheese known as Munster. If you're American, you may know Munster as a deli cheese that features a neon yellow rim. But here's a secret. That's Munster, the annatto-dyed American dupe to a protected French delicacy. Real Munster is illegal in the US and can only be made out here. What makes it illegal? We'll get to that. But first, today's mission. Pick up a couple of blocks of this stinky cheese and do our best to get our two little ones, and ourselves, to enjoy the experience. We drove into the town of Munster to the farm Vosges du Soleil to check out their production and well-priced cheese-making demo. The farm's marqueur, the French word for a farmer who makes Munster, seemed funny because everyone laughed throughout the demonstration. Unfortunately, we don't speak a word of French. After the mini demo, we walked into the cow barn to have our first taste of Munster. This was a fitting place to taste this stinky cheese, as we later learned that the farm stall smell and taste that's imbued in the cheese is actually a celebrated flavor. The Vosges breed of cows, along with an exclusive diet of grass from the Vosges Mountains, is what creates the unique flavor of Munster. Munster bears the AOP seal, which means Appellation d'Origine Protégée. Any product with the AOP designation meets certain quality standards and must be produced in a specific region. As we made our way through Europe's dairies for this series, we found that all of the cheeses we explored bore these regional product seals. We peeked in on the aging Munster rounds, watched some get packaged up, and then popped into the shop to buy our first Munster. We're going to sit down and taste this Munster in just a second, but we had one more stop to grab a second round of cheese to compare to this one. Right down the street from our Airbnb was something we'd encountered in France before, and it's pretty awesome. In 2024, we'd found these cheese lockers in Normandy at a farm. They're a way for farmers to sell products without staffing a cashier. You find a locker with something you want, view the price on a screen, and then pay with your credit card, and the door pops open. This particular one, though, was a full-on farmer's market, not just a cheese shop. It had a whole wall of fresh produce, prepared foods like lasagna, and a ton of dairy products like yogurts, butter, and, of course, cheese.
Looks like there's 3 of them in there. It's Munster. They don't sell that much cheese, actually. All right, do you want small, medium, or large? Yeah!
Here we grabbed our second round of Munster.
I love Munster.
Whoa, smell it. That one's a little stinkier. God, is that okay?
It's known as being a stinky.
This round absolutely reeked to high heaven. We couldn't even believe we were going to put this into our bodies. Which brings us to our picnic. We got a full spread of accoutrements, but the featured items were our 2 Munster cheeses. Let's see how they are. This is the one from the first place that we went. It was actually very good. So squeeze it, kind of squeeze it in your hand. This one feels a little bit firmer, even though they're the same cheese. This one's definitely firmer.
So is there a thing as semi-firm or just semi-soft?
No idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Chin chin.
What?
All right.
Where
One
she's
bite.
go? Oh, she's good. Okay, ready?
It's perfect.
Sorry.
It has a little bit of a graininess. It does have that stinkiness, but it's not overwhelming. It's not off-putting.
Thank you, Daddy.
Try to like pair it up with something a little different. Okay. So that one's absolutely delicious. We like farm one. This one is just a store-bought Aldi Brie that will be also.
I don't like Brie.
The one we had yesterday, I could not get the taste out of my mouth for about 2 hours.
Ooh, this is very soft, and you actually see right here that it actually is almost like milky soft right there.
Creamy.
Yeah, it's almost like creaminess. Like you can actually like spread it off. It's almost like not even fully set. Lizzie, you don't want to try it? Okay. So the smell?
No, I'm scared. Oh my.
It's just pure animal.
It is just manure.
It's manure, straight manure. Hay and manure. Chin chin.
Bottoms up, everybody.
Bottoms up.
I can just put it like
Are you going full on?
Oh my god.
How bad? I'm just gonna pop the whole thing.
It's as bad as it
Oh
smells.
my god. Oh my god. Oh my. I'm sorry. don't think I've ever done that in my life. Oh my gosh, that tastes like eating garbage. That does not taste edible.
I'm gonna try to pair some honey.
I am.
Oh, but I'm sorry, I have to have an neighbor that.
Oh, with the honey. But with the honey, pleasant.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding. Throughout the rest of the week, we tried a few different preparations to see if we could save this extremely smelly version of the cheese. First, a galette, and then a grilled cheese. A couple of days ago, we made a galette with some cheese, some ham, and a couple of other things, and I had used brie that we bought at the Aldi, but today I'm gonna try to use this really stinky one that none of us really liked except for our daughter. Might be good because it'll actually melt in there, which could be nice. Munster is known for its melt-friendly construction. And what isn't improved with a fried egg on top? We added some French ham and stone-ground mustard. Flip that bad boy over and it was ready. Yeah, that cheese worked great, and I think we'll be able to enjoy those. We were lucky to be staying 20 yards away from a quintessential French bakery. We couldn't even make it home before tucking into the baguette. We grabbed a country loaf and cut it into some thick slices when we got back to the house. We had basically the same plan as the galette. We usually reuse ingredients a bunch of different ways when traveling since we don't have access to a staple pantry like at home. We fried up some eggs, got the cheese melting onto the bread. We used the round from Vosges du Soleil, and it wasn't quite as melty or as pungent. The only addition here over the galette was pickles, which honestly made the whole thing.
That is a sandwich, look at that. I do love a good grilled cheese though. We haven't had a good grilled cheese in a long time. Oh my gosh, that was huge. That was my jaw.
Okay, that bread is amazing.
Is it good?
With that cheese. That's a sandwich.
Yeah.
Before we took off from Munsterland, we had to check out the Munster Museum. It ended up being a disappointment because apparently the marqueur/owner that operated the attached Munster producing facility had died a few years earlier, and they hadn't gotten anyone to buy and take over the operation yet. So what used to be a first-hand look at full-scale Munster production is now an expensive exhibit with a tasting of cheeses not produced on the premises. However, one thing really caught our eye at the museum: all the French cheese names. Names we realized we have no idea how to pronounce. And what's funnier than hearing Americans butcher French words? Try to read these words. What do you think? What do you think that says?
Blue des casas.
Bleu de Cassé.
You ready? What do you think about this one?
Logo obi.
Laguiole.
Laguiole. Laguiole. Laguiole. I feel like I was close, but not right.
Yeah.
Not right. How would you say that? The whole thing.
Equis de Bourgogne.
Et quoi de Bourgogne. I don't know.
Alright. Let's say Epo.
Oh. No S is no E.
Epo de I have no idea. I think Bourgogne sounds like that's.
Bourgogne.
Yeah, Plus de Bourgogne. Alright, well, we were pretty far off on that as well.
Surprise.
I think I've only gotten one right. Next, we arrived to the French Alps in the region of Haute-Savoie to explore another illegal cheese, Reblochon. So why are these cheeses illegal to import to the US? Sadly, it's kind of Mexico's fault. The FDA had loosely regulated the import of unpasteurized milk cheeses prior to the early 2000s. But between 1998 and 2011, there were 10 different outbreaks with salmonella that were related to the import of queso fresco from Mexico. And unfortunately, the French and American cheese lovers paid the price with a ban on raw milk cheeses aged less than 60 days. For more than 20 dark years, Americans haven't been able to get Munster cheese due to its 30-day aging time, or Reblochon due to its 15 to 21-day aging time. We traveled through Italy and Switzerland to eventually arrive in the Haute-Savoie region of France, which is right here. Reblochon is an AOP cheese produced exclusively in Haute-Savoie, in the French Alps. On a foggy morning, we departed our little alpine home to drive up a mountain to the start of a trailhead. You ready?
Yes.
Go hiking. Our trail was to take us through some alpine pastures, where the cows responsible for Reblochon graze in the mountains. There's a reason we wanted specifically to see them grazing in the mountains, which I'll explain later, but for now, let's find the cows. What do you hear? Any cowbells? We just did this little pass through between these little grates, and I think it means that we're entering cow country because we're supposedly walking, I think, through the pastures up to this little alp that we should hopefully be able to get some cheese at. Alpine cows are kept in the mountains from May to October until it gets too cold and begins to snow. They are then moved down the mountains to sheltered stalls for the winter. This practice is called transhumance, and we made an entire video about it 2 years ago in the Dolomite Mountains of Italy. You'll always find that these alpine cows wear big bells around their necks for days just like this, where visibility is low and farmers need an alternative to finding the herds without having them in sight. Sounds like they're so close. I just can't see any. They sound so close.
This is crazy. They are all around us. They are so close. Like, it sounds like they are right there. We cannot see a thing. Like, not a shadow of a cow. I don't know where they are.
We were actually about to head this way, and they sound like they're getting closer, and they sound like they're literally like right there, but we don't see them yet. How can I not see them yet? They sound so loud. Once we finally gave up on seeing the cows with our own eyes, we arrived at the Alp atop the mountain. An Alp is a cheese-producing farm on an alpine pasture that typically offers cheese for sale. They're popular rest stops for hikers in the summertime. But we were here on a cold, foggy morning towards the very end of Alp season, before the farms close up and the cows head down the mountain. Here we would find a very special kind of Reblochon cheese.
Just one, please.
Just one.
Yes, thank you so much.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Reblochon stamped with this green seal is true AOP Reblochon cheese. Its flavor comes from the milk of cows who graze on alpine pastures, grass which only grows during the summer months. Reblochon marked with a red stamp is still considered AOP, but it's produced by commercial dairies in a factory. The flavor is less intense and more homogeneous since batches of milk from tons of different farms are combined before processing. On our way back from the Alp, we stopped on the side of the road to pick up one other wheel from another producer.
How'd it go?
Reblochon. It's so interesting. They all have this exact
it's the same label, literally.
but it'll tell you down here like which farm it's from. So this is the
cool.
farm to Versailles.
Cool.
And you can see again, green, made by a farm.
Was she nice?
Yeah, very nice.
All
I just
right.
need to count this money.
Was she excited that you bought her
Yeah,
some
she was
cheese?
super excited.
All right, cool.
She was literally on the top. She was like, I was like, oh my God.
We grabbed a couple of baguettes on our way back home and sliced them up to taste alongside our first Reblochon wedges from the Alp.
We're in France, so we can get a baguette. So let's try it.
This to me looks so incredibly similar to Munster, and supposedly it's supposed to have not as intense or moldy of a flavor. It feels very soft on the inside. I don't know if you felt it, but like it literally bends because like it's probably like almost like milky on the inside. Like you can literally
It's
see
supposed to be
it.
the softest of all the cheeses.
Yeah, you can literally see it. Touch it.
Oh,
Yeah,
easily the softest.
Then can I try a bite to
it's
make
almost
some?
like buttery.
Try that straight up.
Okay.
Let me know what you think about it, and then what you think about it compared to Munster.
I like it. It definitely does not have the stall animal flavor to it.
All right, that's what I would rate it as. It seems like just a softer Munster. It seems like if this sat longer, that it would become Munster. Doesn't that seem like what it is?
Except the flavor. The flavor's just a lot more mild.
I don't know. The one that we really liked of the Munsters, I think it tastes extremely similar. I think it's just softer on the inside.
It's creamy, yeah.
Yeah, it is creamy. Yeah, it's nice. We were literally looking for cows all day, up in the clouds, all through those pastures, and all it took was getting back to our little house to see them right outside next to where we're staying. We departed France the next morning for Stade, Switzerland. But we had one more mission before concluding our French cheese adventures.
We've killed an entire wheel of this Reblochon cheese in 24 hours.
Oh yeah. That night, we got cooking a simple dish that has everything you could want from French cuisine. Butter, onions, ham, white wine, and cheese. This dish, a tartiflette, is a cheesy potato casserole that, rumor has it, was popularized by Reblochon producers to give the cheese a chance to shine. The cheese is typically cut into round slices. Easier said than done. Thankfully, the roadside Reblochon was more set than the mountaintop Alp one. Otherwise, cutting this would have been impossible. This Reblochon seemed closer to Munster in texture, and we wondered if it had been aged longer than normal. You cook the ham down with the onions for a while, and splash in the white wine. You boil the potatoes with some French herbs and drain them. Then you assemble a layer of ham on the pan, topped with the potatoes, and finally arrange some Reblochon all over the top and pop it in the oven for almost an hour until the cheese is bubbling and oozing all over the potatoes. Does that look pretty good, Ozzy? Tell me about it. What is it? You remember what it's called?
Tartiflette.
Yes!
Mmm.
Is it actually good?
It's just
Baby,
a potato.
I promise you.
Try it.
I think you're gonna actually enjoy it, then I can get you some if you want it.
What do you think?
Can't this
No,
right
there's
take
meat to
remove that?
You like it?
Really? And there you have it. 2 stinky French AOP cheeses. Are they worth flying across the Atlantic? Probably not. But if you're a connoisseur of cheese and dairy, you'd probably enjoy them both. Ultimately, we were most partial to the Munster.
Did you have a favorite?
Munster!
Munster?
I like Munster. I love Munster.
Subscribe to see part 2 of our European cheese adventures, where we fly to Italy and explore Parmigiano Reggiano in Parma, compare it to the eerily similar Grana Padano, and see a gigantic 2,000 euro wheel of cheese split open before our eyes. Thanks for watching.
Daddy, if you...
And those you like it.
Yeah. Go, baby.
That can be for Audie.
Just getting honey hands. Here, I'll give Ozzy
All
this
right,
one.
Winnie the Pooh. Whoa. Whoa.
Winnie the Oz.
Whoa. Whoa.